I'm Nani, and welcome to the Chronicles of Nani. This week, I thought we'd go back to discussing MS um, because that is a big player in my life. That actually is the biggest player in my life. I don't let it destroy my life, but it certainly changed what's normal in my life. Um, since it's summer, I thought it was a good time to talk about MS and heat. Um, Heat is not a friend of MS. When you get warm or when you get hot, you can't take a hot shower when you have MS because you will be weak when you get out of the shower. You'll feel clean, but you're going to be weak. As time went on, I discovered that in addition to no more hot showers, that when I'm out and doing things, if it's a hot summer day, which used to be ideal for me, 85 degrees and outside walking was something I enjoyed doing. 75 degrees is a better temperature for me now. And if it's a sunny 75 degrees, I probably want something to keep me cool. Last year, in 2019, on the 4th of July, my husband and I went to Woodstock, Ontario, Canada, because there was it was someplace that was a favorite place for us to go and railfan to take pictures of trains. And there were some special engines that were normally used that were going out of use. So it was interesting that when we got there on an American holiday, which is not a holiday in Canada, that their big July holiday was 3 days ago, which was good. When we were in Woodstock, we had a couple of friends that were also there to see these same engines, and we started having problems with the wheelchair van. First off, the reason we had the wheelchair van was having problems before that. It was very hot, and I was feeling very weak. I mean, my legs hurt, and I felt tired, and I just felt completely listless all over. It was a bad thing and a blessing all at once that we started having problems with the van. And fortunately, because it's not a holiday in Canada, everything was open. And we stopped at Muffler Man and had them take a look at the van and what was wrong with it. Well, all 4 brakes needed to be replaced. And we were going to be sitting in the lobby at Muffler Man for about 4 hours while they changed our brakes. Well, one of our friends, he and his girlfriend were up there for these same trains. David was going to miss the trains. I was going to miss them too, but I was sort of feeling so wilted, I didn't really so much care. So fortunate for me, I got to sit in the air-conditioned lobby for 4 glorious hours. Unfortunately for my husband, he had to pay to replace all 4 brakes, but he did go with a couple of our friends, and he got to see the engines, got to get photographs of them, photographs that I don't think he shared with me yet, and I'm definitely going to have to ask about that because I couldn't get the photos. I at least want his. But sitting in that wonderful air-conditioned lobby was great. I'm sitting next to a woman who strikes up a conversation with me, starting with my wheelchair. and had asked why I was in the wheelchair. And I told her that I have MS, and she said, "Okay, I understand." And she told me that she had COPD and had breathing problems, and the hot weather made things worse for her too. And in our conversation, uh, when I told her that we were visiting from the States, she and that caught the interest of somebody else in the waiting room, and they instantly started plugging me with, are all of these terrible things we've heard about healthcare in the States true, and what are they doing for you about your wheelchair? And uh, that was an interesting conversation, and it will be another vlog. But it was basically 4 hours that I got to have pleasant conversations with other people waiting to have work done on their cars too. I like going out and enjoying some time where David and I can do things when we go out, where we can spend a night and we take the wheelchair van and do things. But I really need to fix this. Okay, some of the best time for doing outdoor photography is in the summer when it's sunny and the days are longer and it's really hot and I get weak and uncomfortable and feel like I'm going to just pass out. So, how to fix that? A little bit later in the same month, uh, we went to Kenosha, Wisconsin, and we stayed there the night to get pictures of the Union Pacific Big Boy steam train. David and his friend Mike were in Wyoming to see a festival for the Union Pacific Big Boy. And David sent me a picture of the train via text. And I texted back, "You have no idea how insanely jealous I am right now." He texted back to me, "Because we're in Wyoming?" And I said, "No, I have loved the Union Pacific Big Boys since I was in my 20s, and you are seeing it, and I am not with you." David decided that, okay, I've got to do something about this because I'm in trouble. "I didn't know you liked the Union Pacific steam train." And I said, "You know I liked trains before I met you. That's one of the things you liked about me." So we went later in the month to see the train in Chicago because David told me we can go and see this train. It's coming through Chicago. And we stayed in Kenosha, and it was in July, end of July. It was hot. And we had to have some solution for this hot thing, and am I going to be able to do this? And I really, really want to go see this train. In fact, there's a photograph that David took, not of me taking a picture of the big boy, but a picture of me taking a picture of another train, because I had what I call went six-wheeling, which is basically that I drove my wheelchair someplace you don't think wheelchairs should go, which is dirt road on the siding of the train so I could get a good shot of the train and not be packed in the middle of all of the other people, because steam trains draw crowds wherever they are. So not to be basically in a position where I have all these people standing in front of me, and instead of a picture of the train, I have a picture of butts. So David got a really good picture of me taking a picture of a train, which I thought was really neat, because you see a great big old train, and you do see on the dirt ground the itty bitty wheelchair. That's me. One thing that we had discovered that I had been doing some reading about, there are cooling vests, cooling hats, cooling all kinds of things. One of the things that you do with a cooling vest is you get it wet so it keeps you cool. I did not want to be wearing a vest that would make my shirt soaking wet, so that if we went into a restaurant after we'd taken our pictures, I would be soaking wet. One of the things that I have found was these little things, and they're wonderful. They're cooling towels. They work very much like the cooling vests do. You soak them in water, but these babies are fantastic. You soak them in water, and after you get them wet, you wring them out so that they're not so wet, and then you can wrap them around your neck. When it's really hot, I like to put them on the top of my head and then wrap them around my neck. They're long enough to do that. So these cooling towels are more like cooling scarves. When you look at the back of them where they're darker, there is a chemical or type of mesh. I'm not sure, and I'm not sure I care, because they work. And when we travel now in the summer especially, we always carry a half-gallon of water, because it doesn't matter with these babies if the water is hot or cold, and an empty cooler. So we put the cooling towels in the empty cooler, and then we take some of that half-gallon of water and we wash off the towels with it, wring them out, and they're cold after you wring them out, and they stay cold for a while. So I do the wrap them around my neck, or wrap them around the top of my head, or both. Or in fact, there's even a couple of pictures that I've taken of David, who wears them as a headband while it's really hot, and it's fantastic in the way that it cools you off, and it makes you feel better to be able to still go out and do things in the summer when it's hot. They're a godsend. They're a lifesaver. I sometimes wear them like a hijab, and I put them over the top of my head and wrap them around my neck. If I'm feeling really weak or it's really hot, that definitely helps. So the cooling towels are just fantastic. I have them, a few of the scarf types, and a couple of other different size, including one that could almost be a blanket. In fact, I think that they are encouraged that they can be used as yoga mats. But they're definitely, to me, they're MS fun in the sun items. But so I got the cooling mats. You can find those on Amazon. They're very easy to find, and they work wonderfully. I also, not that long ago, received a wonderful gift from a friend of mine that is a lap can. And I think she's the one who coined that phrase, and it's a wonderful phrase. It's an Afghan that you wear on your lap, and it's great with regular yarn made for in the late spring, or in the early spring, late fall, that you can add that to something to keep your lap warm. In the summer, she made one for me in green, my favorite color, out of yarn that she was trying out that was a cotton yarn. So it would not be something that would keep you warm, but it would be something that you could wear just a nice shirt and still be dignified. And they're cool. It's a cool Afghan, and it's wonderful. You start to look for anything that will help keep you cool, because otherwise inside air conditioned places are the only things that you can do during hot weather. Um, so that's one of the important things that I find with MS is I don't want to give up my summers. My birthday's in the end of July. I'm a summer child. Summer is like the thing. My husband and I make a trip to Cleveland twice a year so I can go to Cleveland Clinic and see my neurologist and my neurologist team. Uh, we try to make at least one of those trips include a baseball game. If it's a very hot day and it's necessary to bring a cooling towel with me, I certainly do because I'm not going to be kept away from any of the things that I love doing. I'm going to find ways to make sure I can still enjoy as much as I can possibly enjoy with my life that's changed, but not at all gone. So, those are some of the things that I do to beat the heat so that even with MS, I can enjoy the things that I do enjoy doing outside. If you have MS as well and have the same problems with heat, or if you just don't like being outside when it's hot and you have things that are special things you do so that you can enjoy being outside without uh, dealing with being too hot, please leave them in the comments. It might be something I haven't thought of and that I'd like to try, or something that anybody watching could definitely use and uh, help them enjoy being outside and doing the outside things in the summer or on hot days. And on that note, I'm going to say that's the end of this week. I hope you enjoyed and found some information that's useful for you. And until next week, have a fantastic week. Make sure you subscribe. Subscribe. I love it when I see that number rise. And in the meantime, you have a fantastic week, and I'll see you next week with something new.